Okay? So today, because we've been studying Abenaki, and we're pretty familiar with at least one story of Abenaki people, which is what? Annabelle. The Dangerous Stranger Azkaban Surprises Cedar Girl. And that was a storytelling that I sat and we told, and there wasn't many pictures, so we, as a class, collaborated and we drew pictures together to make scenes of that story, and we retold it. And does anybody remember how long ago that story happened? Jordan?
Really long ago.
Really long ago. Does anybody remember how many years ago? Jack?
You said 10,000?
I said 10,000 years. It was maybe the story was about something that could have happened 10,000 years ago.
1 million.
So today we're going to be reading this story,
Yay.
and it's called
How people shall continue.
The People Shall Continue.
I used to have that.
Jordan, that's a good question. What is it about? What do you think this story might be about? It's written by Simon Ortiz, illustrated by Cheryl Graves. Okay, Lucy says Indians. What do you think?
Abenaki people.
Maybe Abenaki people. William, what do you think?
Maybe how long people will stay the same until they evolve.
Okay, so William says how long people stayed the same until they evolved. What did you mean by evolved?
Well, you will from a chimpanzee.
Okay.
Ooh. So, how long will we evolve into a smarter human being to fit the world?
Okay. I'll have to think about that one. Do you think that, because we know now that American Indian people are still living today. Do you think that in the story of Cedar Girl, do you think that she was smart?
Yes.
Which was 10,000 years ago. So do you think that I'm trying to understand what you mean by evolving into smarter people.
Well, our body will evolve, and we might have different bones to fit the world
Okay.
at that time.
Okay.
Are you talking about after you die?
Yeah. In about maybe 1,000, 2,000 years.
And you know what, William? Lots of people have different beliefs about what happens after a person dies.
Oh, I didn't think I thought he was talking about evolutionary process, like evolving, because he's talking about evolving from
Oh,
chimpanzees.
okay. All right. Oh, you mean like when the
Maybe
like how?
maybe there will be a ton of meteors, then we will evolve into so we can be faster.
So we can keep that in mind, and so I'll take a couple more guesses or predictions about what this might be about, and then what I could talk about. Jack?
Native Americans.
Native Americans is a good guess. Why do you think that? Because
They're all black.
they all have dark skin, and what makes you think that this is about Native Americans?
Because
They look like Native Americans too. Okay, Jordan, did you have something to say still? Those need to be put away actually right now. Did you still want to share what you had to say?
I said what is
Okay. It's okay, so stay with me, but this story is actually, this is an overview of Native American history. So this is a true story, unlike The Dangerous Stranger, Azkaban Surprises Cedar Girl, which is a storytelling, which was a tradition of the Abenaki people. This is a true story about the history of American Indian people. Okay, and it's told by a man his name is Simon Ortiz, and he is an Indian person, and he's telling the story about the history of his people. So when I ask you about point of view, which point of view do you think this story is coming from? William?
from a Native American.
Yeah,
From
so
our point of view.
you're saying that this is coming from the point of view from Native Americans instead of our point of view. So what does that mean? What is our point of view?
Well, the point of view from the settlers was, oh, man, these people, oh, this is some nice land. There are a lot of trees here. Oh, those people could be good slaves.
Okay, so you're talking about the point of view of the settlers and the point of view of the Indians. So I think you're going a little bit into what the story might be talking about. So
Good predictions.
these
That
are
was
some
before
great
they were
predictions.
slaves.
This was before they were slaves, so you think that the American Indians became slaves in this history story? We'll find out. So actually, I want everybody to gather around here so that we can see the pictures because there's beautiful illustrations in this story.
Can you say your chair?
We're talking about all these different roles of people: the leaders, the healers, the hunters, the warriors, Jack, the teachers, and the elders of the people. And it seemed like they're all working together as communities of people. The leaders were those who served the people. And what is this teaching that they were telling us? The earth is the source of all life.
It's talking about the whole entire world.
Yeah, the whole entire world, and now everything's kind of working together. It reminded me, and I pulled it out, but I'm not going to go over there and get it, of that lesson that we did about soil made my lunch, and we tracked all of our food into the soil. Remember, so we know that we must protect the soil, and this is this teaching that we're hearing from this person. This is distracting me, Griffin. You see that?
It's those people.
The people of the many nations visited each other's lands. So there you go. That's saying that there were many nations, like we know from this map. They visited each other's lands. The people from the north brought elk meat. The people from the elk is like a deer. It's like a certain kind of.
Oh,
It's like a bigger deer. The people from the west gave them fish. So they probably got fish from those oceans or from, it could be rivers and lakes. The people from the south brought corn. The people from the east gave them hides. Hides. Does anybody know what hides are? William?
Skins.
Like skins from animals, which they used for, remember when we were learning about the wigwams for the Abenaki, they used deer skins for lots of things, for the flaps of the doors, for the clothes that they wore. When there were arguments, their leaders would say, "Let us respect each other. We will bring you corn in baskets. You will bring us meat and flint knives."
What are flint knives?
Flint knives would be
It's a type of stone. It's a sharp stone.
sharp stones, so knives that they made out of stone. That way we will live a peaceful life. We must respect each other and the animals, the plants, the land, the universe. We have much to learn from all the nations. So it seemed like these nations, maybe they lived in their own like territories, but they were all working together and they were all trading with each other from the north, the west, the east, and the south, right? Nevertheless, life was always hard. At times, corn did not grow and there was famine. At times, winters were very cold and there were hardship. At times, the winds blew hot and the rivers dried. Jordan, try not to let her distract you and just focus on this because we're going to have an assignment right after. Okay? At times, the people grew uneasy among themselves. The learned men and women talked with each other about what to do for their people, but it was always hard. They had to have great patience, and they told their people, "We should not ever take anything for granted. In order for our life to continue, we must struggle very hard for it." So right now, after reading this page, we talk about struggle means, what struggle means, and think about what struggle means when I say this. Imagine yourself living with these people a long, long time ago. So it's not quite 10,000 years ago, but hundreds of years ago. Imagine what would be good and what would work with these people? What would you like about living with these communities of people? And what would be hard? Just imagining in your mind, imagining yourself there. What would be hard? We just learned about all these things like at times corn did not grow, at times winters were very cold and there was hardship. And that people had to struggle very hard for their lives to continue. Just imagine this kind of life. But we also learned in the page before that, and this page, that people were working together and they were trading, living in communities to survive.